Okay, welcome back. So what I decided to do is I really think that cram plus the wings is a good combo. But I want to keep my source up. And I want to constantly have a nice income stream of source. So what I'm going to do is this costs 10, for example, which is just too much. We had 20 last time, which was nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade the dispatch. Because that does make him more powerful this time. So our market is not going to be touched. In order to upgrade the dispatch, I have to spend 8 points. And then that'll be just 4 points away from having an upgraded Forsaken for later rounds. So it is going to get me closer to my goal. And as you can see, since we're going to spend 8 points and we have 11, then that's going to allow me to build a drilling outpost, which only costs 3. So I can spend all 11 source, and I'm going to get a drilling outpost, which costs 3 now, but that'll get me 6 source later, right? And so the idea here is I don't want to miss out on that opportunity. So I've put the drilling outpost, and in fact, I'm going to move it up there because that's going to be harder to get through the woods. And we have, for them, it's a taproot. So I'm going to grab 2 of them, and they're not grouped together. So 3 health each. So the first one is a taproot, and then another taproot. And that's all they have. They just have 2 units. Now, granted, they have 2 range, and they have summon, which could be a problem. And then because of what we're doing, we have 9 CP, and I'm going to go with the Source Siege plus Dispatch, like I was talking about. But the Dispatch is going to be upgraded. And just one last thing for you. The Dispatch has 2 movement. This has 3. So I'm going to put the Dispatch first. And our heroes are already on the board, so they're just staying there. And I'm not going to group these guys. They're going to stay separate. But the idea here is that the Dispatch is going to prevent the transport from moving too fast. And in the process, that'll allow the transport to use his 4 range to decimate the towers. And so that's what it's going to look like. And let's go ahead and get started. So the Brahmin go first. That means us. And at the beginning of the turn, he gains his health back. He's already full health, this guy. And this guy gets a big bonus against the landmarks. So I'm going to come down and try to unlock this landmark. So I'm going to move 2. Now, it doesn't hurt me because this guy has no range. Now, this one here, he's upgraded once, and he can only upgrade 1 more time. But I'm going to go ahead and move him 2 as well, like so. And I'm just making sure that when the taproots move, I'll be out of their range. So that part's good. And then the Dispatch, of course, is going to move 2. And our catapult's going to move. It moves 3, but it can only do 2 because it can't go through him. And as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to be able to declare an attack against him. So I'm going to be able to knock one of his attacks off, which is awesome. And that's the whole point of this Source Siege. I love him. Now, I did read one thing that was concerning, and if Internet Land can help me. The transportability on this guy bothers me. Because it says must be grouped with exactly 1 minion under it. The minion grouped under this may have a lower movement stat. So it's the word must that bothers me. So does that mean I can't use him like I'm using him right now? I've been using him this way because in my opinion, he's the best unit in the game. But I could be doing this wrong. The must be thing is, it really bothers me. I mean, why do I want to use it only as a transport? So if that were the case, then the Dispatch would be underneath him. We could do that. I wish I would have looked this up. Let's see if Board Game Geek says something. Bear with me, folks. I'm going to just do a quick internet search while we're chatting here. Board Game Geek source engine, or no, source siege transport. Cloudspire. Yeah, everybody's talking about just get the upgraded source siege and use it to take stuff out. So they're basically saying the same thing that I'm saying. If you really want to be a rules lawyer, that word must means you can't deploy a source siege ever unless you have another unit paired with it. And that would make playing this particular faction extremely difficult. I am not seeing this anywhere, though. My hits are coming back, and everybody's saying the same thing that I've been doing, and that's, build the source siege. He's your best unit in the game. So, anyways, I'm going to keep going. Internet land, please chime in. Let me know your thoughts on that. I just think that if I want him to be a transport, then, yeah, he must be the one on top. I just don't. Anyways, I'm going to move on. I'm going to play with him exactly like I've been doing. And to be quite honest, I would house rule this. Even if the designers chime in and say that's not how it's supposed to be, I don't know. I might house rule that thing. That's really brutal to force this thing to always have to be with something else. Okay, back to the game. We did our damage and we're done. So now it's their turn. This one's going to move 2. And this one's going to move 2. And now our range is here, but we can't go through this. So we're done. So now it's our turn. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my... See, if I move this hero to here, this one has range. And he has 3 attacks, so that's not good. So I don't want to move to there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to here instead. And we're going to explore this. Now... this guy is going to move 2 and then have a range attack on our heroes. So it'll probably be this guy so I can gain 2 source, right? So that's the plan. And then I'm going to move this guy to here. So between the 2 of them, we can take this out. Now this one has to move. So he's going to move here. And he has 2 range with splash. So we're going to be able to hit this, and it's going to be able to hit both of them as well. So this is actually going to get very interesting. And then this guy is going to move his 2 to there. Now, first things first, we're going to do this. Well, we have to explore. That's the first thing first. So we explore and we get a bounty hunter who has the fair fight ability. So what that means is he attacks back at whatever we attack him. So I happen to have 3 attack, which is not enough to finish him off. So he would attack back for 3, and that would actually kill me. So that's not good. This one has 1 attack. So he would take, or I'm sorry, he has 2 attacks, so he would take 2 of his 3 damage. Also not good, but the good news is the bounty hunter is not going to retaliate or attack on the enemy turn. Now these guys are going to summon, and I'll explain why in a second if you haven't figured it out. And they're going to summon an ogre growth. The ogre growth does not have range attack. So this guy will not be able to kill him. And that's my concern. If I attack him and he attacks back, he's going to be seriously damaged, but we'll be able to kill this thing, is what I'm getting at. The ogre growth cannot get to him. Now, there's only 1 ogre growth, so then what's the next thing that gets summoned? And that's actually in the instructions. A grizzled oak would be the next one. Boy. And so a grizzled oak... he only moves 1 space. So I'll explain everything now. And now that I understand what's going on, I'll explain it all now. This guy has 2 range, and he also has a keyword, splash. And that's what's going to happen here. He does 2 damage. So he's going to do a 2 damage attack and knock off 1 for that tower. but it's going to splash and do 2 damage to him and 2 damage to him. So that's going to cause both of these guys to summon. So I have to flip this over because they're both going to summon, and one's going to summon the ogre growth. And let me show you. There's only one of these. So the other one would also summon an ogre growth, but there's no ogre growths left. So per the scenario rules, a grizzled oak is the next one in line. So those are the 2 that are going to be summoned, and we get to pick which one goes where. Now, technically speaking, whichever one was damaged first would summon this one, but we get to decide which one gets damaged first. So let's not concern ourselves too much over that. So this one does 2 damage. They both do 2 damage, so they're both pretty much the same. So here's the idea. This guy's going to be damaged hard, but we're fine. We already confirmed that neither of these are going to be able to get to him. Our hero is at risk because whichever one of these is going to do 2 damage to our hero. That's going to happen, but our hero will survive it. So I think we're fine. And then the other one is going to do 2 damage to him potentially. But this one only has 1 movement. So I'm going to assign this guy to the top. He has 6 health. And he's going to be grouped with that one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign him up here. So why did I do that? Because on his turn, he's going to move 1 space, and he won't be able to hit my dispatch. If I would put the other guy there, he could move 2 spaces, and then he'd be able to hit my dispatch. Whereas the guy with 1 movement can move 1 space and attack my hero, and the guy with 2 movement can move 2 spaces and will still attack my hero, because he won't attack the dispatch if there's a hero available. Does that make sense? So it was a no-brainer here. And then this ogre growth gets 5 health. And it's also grouped like that. Okay, so that was him attacking there. I still have other attacks to do. So I'm going to attack this bounty hunter with this guy. You know what, though? I really want this guy to level up. But it's just way too much. I have to attack the bounty hunter with this guy. So the bounty hunter has 4 health. And when I attack him, I'm going to do 2 damage to the bounty hunter, but the bounty hunter is going to do 2 damage to me. Okay? Now, this guy is able to do 3 damage to the bounty hunter. Actually, because he has the he has the hunter ability? Never mind. This guy has the hunter ability. He does 2 damage plus 1 is 3. But since he's going to be able to do 4 damage to him because his hunter ability does extra damage against landmarks. So this guy can kill him outright. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't take any damage at all. I get 3 swords for that. This game has a lot of moving parts. Your brain sometimes hurts after you play it, but I do love that about the chip theory games. They all do that to me. Too many bones is the same. Yeah, he's fully upgraded. So even though he killed this, I don't get to level up. And this guy doesn't get to level up. So when I did my movement, I think it was this situation. So I'm going to actually change my movement to look like this. And you're going to understand why. When he comes up, I want him to attack this guy so I gain source. I know it's all silly, but those little decisions do impact this game. All right, and then the last thing I have is I have this transport that has a 4-range attack. I would love to hit this tower up here, but there's this in the way, and that doesn't do me any good. And sorry, I didn't mean to do the finger. And I'm too far away from this one, which I also desperately want to take out. But what I'm going to do then instead is I'm just going to hit this tower here, and that tower gives me 2 source. And as they said when we got Osama bin Laden, we got him. All right, so 1 tower is down, and that's 2 more source. So I'm up to 5 source. So I would like to plop a siege tower right there at some point. Maybe not. Obviously, I have to wait until the beginning of my turn, but that's one of the things we want to do. And maybe an upgraded architect or something could do that for free. Who knows? Okay, so now it's their turn. So like we said, this guy's going to go 2 spaces, and this one's going to go 1. And then this one is going to do 2 damage to my hero, which puts him down to 1 health. And then we gain 2 source from that, because that hero gives me 2 source. Honestly, folks, without this particular hero giving me all this source, when you guys play this scenario, you're going to have a huge disadvantage over what's happening here. But that guy is awesome. And anyways, their turn's over. This guy can't hit anybody. Oh, the tower. See, now this is another thing. Can you go along the spine? Because if you go right along the spine here, that tower has range to hit this guy. I'm going to say no, because that's how I've been playing. If you're going along the spine, it doesn't work. So I could be doing it wrong. That's the only reason I'm pointing that out. Okay, so it is now our turn again. And this guy clearly is in trouble, but he heals on his own, even if we move. So he's a little more powerful than this one who has to sit still to heal. So he healed on his own. Clearly, I can't do anything because he'll die. I don't want to go after a tower because he'll die. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move 1, 2 to get out of the way, because this guy's not going to go this way. And we'll explore this. I'm just going to explore it now. I know that's not the sequence, but we already know what it is. And then, of course, our hero can move 1, 2 now and potentially start to do some damage here. Do I want to, though? Because this guy's going to move 1 space and ruin our world. So let me wait for a bit. Actually, the heroes either have to move first or last. We're going to make the heroes move last. So this one's going to move 2, like so. And this one is going to move 3. But this is closer than going this way. So that's our situation. So this guy is definitely in trouble because that Grizzled Oak's going to get him. And what I'm going to do is move my hero. My hero can do 3 damage to him, but it won't be able to kill him. My hero is just going to stay put, I think. Yeah, I'm going to leave these 2 guys to fend to the wolves. This one has a range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can take this one out, or I can take that one up there. And I'm actually going to take the one on the top because this requires a 2 damage hit. And so that's going to be done to hurt that one. And this has a 2 range. So we're going to go ahead and just hit this guy for 2 up at the top. And unfortunately, because of the way everything is, this guy's going to get pummeled. But they both did their attacks. That part's good. And yeah, that's all we can do. So now we move to their turn. The good news is this one's actually going to move right past us. The bad news is our towers are in trouble. This one can't move, so he's staying put. And our Source Siege is in trouble, which I don't like, but there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, so first things first, this tower and that tower are both going to attack him. They each roll 1 die, so I'm just going to roll 2 dice because there's a lot of hit points on this guy. And you can see I rolled a 1-1. Okay, so we did 2 damage to him, which is decent. Now, he has the Rooted ability. The Rooted ability says that if he's adjacent to a spire, he's going to stay in place instead of moving. And it must move on the next turn. But for 1 turn, he's going to stay in place. And I'm going to just check the rules. Rooted triggers before moving if it's adjacent to a spire, and it would be able to make an attack this turn. Otherwise, the unit moves as normal. So that won't happen until next round. So the problem is he's going to damage our tower and just kill the range on our tower. That's the problem with that particular one. And this one here, of course, is going to do 2 damage to our Source Siege. But the good news is we do 2 damage back. So yeah, lots of damage being done all around. So now it's our turn. I'm sitting on 7 source. I don't want to spend a lot of it, folks. but I also don't like the fact that my my tower is taking damage. This guy's going to stay rooted, which means he's going to attack that tower again and kill it. I don't necessarily want that tower to die, so I'm going to spend 2 source and put another attack on him, so maybe we can kill him before, I mean, it says before he moves, he does his attack. That's what the rooted thing is. Let me read it one more time. Triggers before moving. So that means that he'll attack before he moves, which means we don't get to attack him first. So whatever I put there, he's destroying. So we're down to 5 swords. This guy, I can't stop. He has to move, so he's going to move 2. And then this one is also going to move. Gosh darn it. He's going to move here, and he has to stop. So that puts him in range for this guy. And he might die, because he's rolling 3 dice. Dang it! I am not happy about that. So this hero healed, and we're going to move him up 1, 2, like that to get more source. And this one will move 2 to get back in the game. I probably moved these two too far away. If I would have had them a little bit closer, I could have maybe finished him off, but I didn't do that. I really screwed up a lot of stuff here. So first things first, this guy has range, and so this tower is going to attack him with 1 die, and I rolled a blank. I needed that for this one. He's going to roll 3 dice, and I'm really nervous. I need a blank on one of them. And as you can see, I didn't get it. So he did kill our Source Siege, and I'm crying. Because I really desperately needed the Source Siege to take this one down, and that one up there. It just, this is a tough scenario. So this guy isn't going to move anymore, because he's next to his goal. Now, the good news is I can still have him attack the tower and not the fortress. So I just took range off the tower. Excuse me. This one cannot get a hit anymore. So he's going to stay here until the fortress defeats him. So that's one, I guess, good piece out of this. So now it's their turn. This guy's going to stay rooted and do a damage to the tower before his move. And then and it would be able to make an attack this turn. So basically, he's going to get to attack twice. Let's look at the rooted keyword one more time. If adjacent to a spire, it may stay in place instead of moving. It must move on the next turn. Oh, you know what? Rooted doesn't do an attack. Never mind. Never mind. Rooted doesn't attack. It just says he can stay in place. So then per the scenario, the rooted says triggers before moving if this unit is adjacent to a spire, and it would be able to make an attack this turn. So otherwise it moves as normal. So all rooted does when it's triggered is it just doesn't move. So that's what we're going to do. And then this guy's going to move 1, like we said. So now, as far as attacks go, I get 1 die with this and 2 dice with that. So I'm rolling 3 dice against this guy. I'm going to do the 2 dice first. Oh my gosh, look what I rolled. Oh, come on. And then the 1 die. Well, that one made up for some of it. We did 2 damage, but it's not enough. He's still alive. And yeah, he's going to attack the tower now, like we predicted. This one's going to attack us, which gives us 2 source. So we're back up to 7. And we do take 2 damage. And then he's going to do 2 damage back, which kills the Grizzled Oak. And we get 3 source for the Grizzled Oak. So now we're up to 10. So all that health's gone. And, the Taproot is still alive with 1 health. Okay, so now it's our turn. And we got things to do. So the first thing is I probably want to get this tower beefed up again. It has 4 pips. Right now we only have 1 upgrade. So I'm going to go ahead and spend... Do I really want to spend a lot on that tower? I mean, he is helping me defend my base. But that tower is not important to us. You know what? I'm going to spend my 2 to get him back to where he was. I don't know if I should, but I'll at least do that. And then this hero heals 1, because he always heals at the beginning of a round. And we already confirmed that this guy can't get hit by any of the towers. So what this guy's going to do is we're going to kill the taproot. That's easy to do, and we get our 2 source back. So we're up to 10. And the good news is I get another pit for him. So now he's becoming pretty powerful. We got 3 attack with this guy. And then this one will move up, and we're going to kill the ogre growth. And that gives us 3 as well. So now we're up to 13 source. And then there's 1 health left. And we get the... Oh, we don't do anything. So that guy's still rolling. So now we move to this guy. He's got a 2 range attack. And I'm going to go ahead and finish off the tower before I go after their fortress. And that tower gives us 2 more source. So we're up to 15 now. I'm very tempted, by the way, to build this tower. The problem is that tower is going to constantly be under attack by them. So every time they move, they go 1, 2, and guess what? This tower is going to be its target. The taproots won't be able to damage it because the taproots only do 1 damage. So assuming I put a fortification on it, yeah, that's definitely an issue. But our turn's over. So now it's their turn. So their turn, of course, this guy's going to move 1 space because that's all he does is move 1 space. And our towers get to go after him. Doesn't matter. I'm going to roll for both. And you can see I got a blank and a 2. And the taproot's dead. So I get even 2 more source. So I'm up to... Gosh darn it, I'm up to 17 source without even going to the next round. If I go to the next round right now, I'm going to get 6 more source, which means I'm way over 20. And that's not even counting the mining drill. So I do need to build a tower. It is part of my game objective, so I'm going to build a siege tower right here. And a siege tower, as you can see, by default is 1 and 2. But per the rules, I don't have to follow the pips. It's an unlimited upgrade to my siege tower. So it starts with this, and that's 6. So that puts me down to 11. Okay, and I only get to do 2 builds, right? Because, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 and get another upgrade. So that 11 minus 4 now puts me down to 7. So that puts me in a little better position there. Spent a lot of our source to get that in place. Okay, so we're down to 7. And that's my 2 build actions, that limited builds that I get to do. Okay, we're the only ones left. So we get to move, we get to do things. This guy heals. My concern is this guy has 3 attack dice. He can one-shot our heroes. So I'm avoiding this. I need a source siege engine to take this out. But that one up there rolls 2 dice, and I might get lucky enough to do something. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move each hero 1 space, and then I'm going to charge in. Unfortunately, I can't charge... Well, I can charge in with both. Yeah, so just follow me here. I'm going to charge in, and he can only attack 1 of us, is really what I'm trying to get at. So here, I'm going to, of course, attack this, which does 2 damage to him. So that puts him down to 13, and that's helpful. but he's going to attack back, and remember he has that razor thing, so he does 2 damage to us instead of 1. So there's only 1 more round to go after that tower. So it's our turn again, and I'm going to charge. So I'm going to charge in 2 here and 2 here, like so. So now he's going to roll 2 dice on us, and I rolled a 1 and a 1. So I guess there was a risk that I could have died. And now we get to attack him. So this one, of course, is doing 3 damage, so we're taking out the range. And that's the part that upsets me, is I can't get him all the way, right? And then what's going to happen is we're going to attack this. We do 2 more damage. It's down to 11. And then he finishes us off, and the wave's over. So we got both of those heroes there in the range of that tower, and they're very heavily damaged. And even worse, their boss is coming next round. So I need to look up Ertel's wheel again. Yeah, okay. This guy's special ability only goes after minions. It doesn't go after heroes. That's what I was checking. Okay, so we're on to wave 4. Time check. We're 31 minutes in. I will go ahead and say thanks for watching. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in a few seconds.